I'm live. Can you hear me, guys? I'll be out here shortly. This just sends out a feed, an alert. Okay, I see the alert has worked. A few of you are here. I'll be ready to go here momentarily. I've got a funny story about why I'm doing it this way. Because I see that. Oh, well, I haven't moved. Messy. Is it messy? I'll explain and take all your questions here momentarily, but I'll tell you a funny story about why I'm doing this longer version of the alert, because it sends out a message I'm live. Because I'm in your future, people. I'm coming to you from tomorrow for those of you in the States. I am back to the future. I'll be back shortly, live. Seconds. I can't figure out how to end this except by letting it run its course, because I'm tired of it too. Here we go. Yes, live from the Philippines. Now the reason I did that is because in scheduling this on my travel, I'm coming to you from tomorrow. So what does that mean? Let's see. So I needed to schedule this for today, which here is Thursday at 11 a.m. I think, right? Yes, it's 11 a.m. here Thursday. That is the 20th. But for you, you're in my now yesterday, and in Phoenix, for example, right now, and I'm just using the weather app. That's how I keep track of time now. In Phoenix, it is currently 8 p.m. yesterday. This is so weird because when you cross the date line, this kind of stuff happens. So you are watching this yesterday. I'm doing this today, 11 a.m. your tomorrow. I love it. I could go all live stream with this, and I'm sure that's going to be a big hit. Just to give you another couple of choices here, in Kentucky, where my kids used to live, it's 10 p.m. So Debbie in Kentucky, I don't expect you to be on here, but if you are, I'm sure you'll say hello. You're at 10 p.m. And I'm just again checking if you're on the west coast of the United States, California, it is 7 p.m. yesterday for me. I was still traveling yesterday on this. I've had a pretty good sense of, or suffer of jet lag. It hit me pretty hard yesterday. It didn't the last time I was here. Now let me address, did I move? Because, now how do I get back to the comments? Oh yeah, here we go. Hey, Sage is here. Laura's here. Yes, good Wednesday. Good Thursday. There's Kentucky with Debbie. You probably caught yes, you're on. You are my hardcore supporters. I appreciate it. But let me address, because I put out a 6-minute video, as it turned out. I recorded that and I said, I'm leaving the country. Clickbait, yes. I hope you forgive me a little bit, but it was fun. It's funny because, yes, I left the country. I wasn't kidding, but not for good yet. It's an exploit. And then I put, to be fair, I put in the description exactly how can I do this real quick here. Oh, yeah. So I put in the description of I'm leaving the country, and then the title was traveling today to the Philippines. I put in the description, traveling today to the Philippines for rest, exploring, and fun. And there's a lot of things to this. I'll be covering it. I also would appreciate any questions in the comments, particularly under the videos that I'll post. I'm still trying to figure those out. One of the big things is I don't have my computer with me. I've got my iPad, I've got my iPhone, and this is what I'll record everything on. And I've got a Filmora app that I tested that is going to work really well. And so I posted a quick video. I was so frustrated that I didn't get it done before I left. And I said, I got to get this out. So I did these clips real quick, turned out, and then I loaded them to Filmora on the app in the airport. I'm a little over an hour before leaving Seattle to Incheon, Seoul, Korea, which is the first leg of the trip, or technically the second. And I did it. I real quick videoed my quick deal off the top of my head with a basic outline. I then uploaded it to the app, did some minor edits, and just posted it, even without a thumbnail. And I made the thumbnail a few minutes after, and literally within 20 minutes of that, I got called aboard the flight to Korea, continuing on to the Philippines, Cebu. So that's where we're at. Now, what's funny is, I'm in your tomorrow. I just think this is hilarious. But, oh, so then when I go to schedule this, I couldn't schedule this for Wednesday. It wouldn't let me because I'm in Thursday. So right now, I think this live stream says it's scheduled for your tomorrow, but it's my today. And so I just said, well, I'll go live for a minute or two in the infamous Boomer countdown thing that y'all love. And that's what I did. So you'd get an alert, at least in real time. So anyway, appreciate y'all being here. Let's just talk briefly. You can ask any question you want. I'll answer it the best I can, or as much as I want to. And we'll talk about this because I have looked at the Philippines as a potential place to retire. I will always maintain, I won't do anything if it means I wouldn't be able to visit my grandkids or my kids. And um, the biggest thing is I'm about, 20 hours away, travel time. Uh, and that flight, guys, you want to know about that? Old guys sitting in an airplane for whatever. We'll talk about that in the future. Okay, now let's start here. Is it Messi? I can't remember how to. I think I've seen you before. Messi. Wow, I can't believe you moved out of the U.S. How's it living out there? Well, I haven't moved, and I'm not living here at this time. I can tell you about where I'm looking to live and what that would look like. From what I can tell, from the research I've done, you can live very comfortably here on 1,500 to 2,000 a month. Everything and travel. So that's pretty cool. Although I have noticed, I was here 2 years ago. I'm in the same place. Right now I'm in ground areas that I'm familiar with because this is where I was and I came to. So the same hotel, um, right across from the Ayala Mall. So you guys that know anything about this area, you know exactly where I'm at. The hotel room, this is it. It's pretty cozy. And the bathroom is right across this wall. It's very small, but it's $30 a night, $31 a night, US. Um, and it's all I need. It's very convenient to everything. I just came back. Remember, it's 11 a.m. I've just spent about an hour and a half. Guess where? Yeah, I'll do it that way. Yeah, a 2-minute walk from here. And this was one of the things I'm most interested in when I look at people that are living elsewhere, except what does it cost wherever? And things I will say in the last 2 years have gotten quite more expensive here in the Philippines. But this morning, my Starbucks Christmas blend grande coffee was, I'm documenting every peso I spend here. Or in America, we say every penny. The trying to remember, it's 100. Oh, here it is. This coffee is 140 pesos. Roughly we're getting 58 to 60 pesos per dollar. So let's just round it up to 50 pesos. So 100 pesos is a little under $1, $2 and 40. So this was, about math. 100 pesos is $2, about little $2, a little over $2 for the grande. In the States, it's going to be 4 or 5, something like that. I didn't have a cup of coffee for over a day. I was cranky. No, I was tired, actually. I woke up this morning. Jet lag really hit me this trip. I don't remember it hitting me last trip. I think it's because my itinerary was a little different. But yesterday I was so tired. I was dehydrated. I slept from here time from about 4 o'clock in the afternoon till about 2 o'clock in the morning today here. And then I've been up since 2 o'clock in the morning. But that was like my normal morning back where you are. Okay, so yeah, I haven't moved. Yeah, this is actually a good question. This is something I definitely am planning and will be planning is how will I see my family? Well, here's my ultimate plan. Should I move here and this becomes home base, what would happen is I might get to see my grandkids even more. And how that would work is I would be here for, let's say, in a 12-month period. I would travel back, let's say, every 6 months, 5 months, maybe for 2 months. I'd be there for 2 straight months, and do that twice a year. So 4 months out of the year, I'd be back with them for 4 months, and I would do it to where I'd see them most of that time. And then the rest of the time would be here or wherever, right? So, so yeah, I mean, how the question here is how is it living out there or visiting? It is obviously very different. And I'll be talking in future videos, if you're interested, on the pros and cons of living or visiting the Philippines. One of the things I will tell you, I forgot about this, the sidewalks and everything infrastructure here can be very, and I'm in an update. I mean, I'm in a city that is pretty good, but I've almost fallen twice because you got to be careful where you step. That there's lots of cracks and holes and uneven concrete. So it's something you need to be aware of, man. I've seen, open pits and, I'm surprised maybe that doesn't happen more often than not. Okay. Did you, Messi, you have some good questions here. Did you transfer to Home Depot out there? There is no Home Depot, I don't think American Corporation wise. There are Home Depots here. They say Home Depot. I think their colors are actually the Lowe's colors. But no, and I'm not looking to live here and work. As a matter of fact, as an American, I don't think you can do that, but no, you can't. You can't work here as a expat in the Philippine government, which I'm fine with. And actually, to tell you the truth, I think that's good because jobs here are for the Philippine people, just like, yeah, a lot of stuff to that. So, yeah. Thank you, Messi says, we'll miss you back in the state. Well, I'm coming back 3 weeks and I hope to be able, oh, thank you, man. Look at this. Good luck. We'll miss you. All right. You know what? You just bought me 2 Starbucks coffees, right? Is that what, something like, or a Starbucks coffee and probably a donut. Thanks for contributing to my assets. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Okay, Sage, great to see you. It's 10 p.m. in Florida. Okay, up late. What? Winning lottery? I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe I'll have to research that. Yeah. Hey, buy one for me. Support me on my travels. Hey, Laura, great to see you from Chicago. Yes. Good morning and good evening at the same time. When you cross the date line, last time I thought they'd make an announcement. I always heard if you cross the equator, they did something special when you cross. I'm not sure that's the case anymore, but here we are flying. Last time I crossed it and didn't realize it. This time, I was on that screen watching as the plane just inched to the line on, if you travel on the plane, it's got your route. Here comes the line. Here comes the line. Next thing I know, I passed it. It was sometime yesterday at 5:15 p.m. in the afternoon. I left Seattle at 11. So this would be about 5 or 6 hours into the flight, crossed the date line. What happened? Guess what happened? I'll tell you in a future episode. Just kidding. Because nothing happened. Nothing happened. I thought, wow, we just went from today to tomorrow like that. And, it did change. It changed on the stuff, the technology. You go from today to tomorrow like that. So there you go. Yes, Debbie, you heard me say that. Well, thanks. I'm glad you're up because I know in Kentucky it's later for sure. Yep. Laura says 9 p.m. in Chicago. And John, well, John, okay, these questions, these are not, look, I don't do anything. If you know me, I'm a major, massive procrastinator, but I'm also a major, I'll just say researcher. It's a long story that I can make even longer if I started right now because I've had a couple of these. Add some tequila and these things get really good. But John, and I appreciate John, your recent comments. I've responded to a couple of them. Keep them coming because these are giving me ideas of what, number one, for those of you who go, why would you do that, Phil? Or why Phil, et cetera. And maybe you're interested in doing something similar. There's definitely a lot of people out there thinking about it. But my long story short is the Philippines did come across my radar years ago, within the last 6 as opportunities for people to live elsewhere if you chose to on a limited income. These are good choices. That's the gist of it. So there's also, I'm going to say this, that the cultures around the world, if you've never been out of the country, wow, what an eye opener. And again, not what you often hear from the United States, but as far as positivity, yeah, there's some drawbacks, and I'll be talking about pros and cons honestly, as much as I feel comfortable with it, but the pros far outweigh the cons, in my opinion, at this point. They're not places to come if you need to work, unless you're a digital nomad. Those kind of positions work very well with so many of these countries. And I'll say this, a lot of American viewpoints about Asian countries and this and that are really I don't know what the word I want to use. They're not true. They're very one-sided. For those of you, for the criticisms, and I'll share some of those in the future about what the first thought of Americans were when I told them just recently, hey, I'm going on vacation. Where are you going? Going to the Philippines. Oh, I'll leave it to you what they probably responded with. Not one person. Well, I can't say that. There were a number of people that said, wow, exciting, good luck. That sounds so cool. But for everyone that said that, there were probably 4 or 5 that said what you probably know what they said, because I've had the same kind of impressions. So, okay, this is a cool question. Thanks, John. Appreciate your following along and asking these questions. Is it summertime in the Philippines? Yes. Of course, in the tropics, summer and winter are about the same. What they have here, a rainy season and less rainy season. Temperatures are pretty much the same in a way year round. Right now, it's a beautiful upper 70, low 80s. Let's see. Right now, it's 85 degrees, mostly cloudy. If I would have come here just 2-3 weeks ago, would have been at the tail end of massive destructive typhoons that ripped right through here. Did see the damage coming in still, obviously massive, lots of very serious one. Not like a previous one a few years ago, Odette, but rainy season is coming to an end. And thank God, literally a week to 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, the last typhoon, they were lined up in the Pacific, and it was 3 in a row in about a month's period, one of which was a big one. And it passed north of here. But it's summertime. It's drier season coming up. Ideal months to visit the Philippines again would be the first of the year, weather-wise. Okay. I don't know. I didn't. Now, when I go back, I have a day in Korea, and I'm thinking about just hanging out. I went to the DMZ last time. It's free. It's pretty cool. You can take all these tours. You may know this, Sage. What do you suggest I might shop for? Should I shop for something for the What's Up Boomer community and give it to some lucky somebody? What should I shop for? That's actually a tour. I wasn't going to go out this time. I just wanted to relax for the day, but I might do that. There is a shopping tour. It's supposed to be pretty cool, and I might think that'd be a good thing to just walk around, I guess, downtown Seoul somewhere. They take you there, they watch you, you get back on, they bring you back, you get upstairs, you get back to your gate. I had trouble finding it last time because there's no one I don't know, no one even checked me in coming back. I ended up going through this preferred line for what do they call it, club people. But you see, since I just walked right in. No one said a word to me. There is a respect for aged people here. And I think they just saw me. I kind of bypassed the line and and they were like, no problem. Oh, okay. Laura, how difficult? Way difficult. I wouldn't put them through the trauma, I think, of a 16 to 20 hour, well, it'd be a 20 total hour flight or travel time. If the cats are around, and I've realized getting this kitten, baby kitty, baby girl and baby kitty, as I call them now, but baby kitty is young. She's 6 months old. She likely could outlive me. Oh, well, yeah. If she does the average cat life, I come on, let's face it. My runway probably isn't 15, 20 years out. I know it could be, probably isn't. But I have a wonderful daughter and grandgirls that would love them. So let's consider the cats assets that the kids will inherit, or the grandkids. That's the way I think that'll happen there. Okay, here comes, what does Reddy say? Reddy, I know, I don't know. You've come up with some I think you're the person that I think was borderline on some of your comments about. I don't know. They're funny to me. But what are you doing this afternoon? Well, coming up, my plan is to take a nap. I'm still recovering. I'm telling you guys, the jet lag, first time in my life I really got hit with it. I wasn't feeling good yesterday, and it was exhaustion and I think dehydration. So, uh, but so like 2 o'clock this morning, I woke up, or was it 4? I had a piece of chicken. There's a 7-Eleven downstairs. Um, and 7-Elevens here are like if you've got a 7-Eleven near you, that's like that's kind of like a valuable thing. So that they had, you know what? It tasted delicious. It was like KFC, except a lot less greasy, and had that and some water, and it hit the spot. So take a nap, and then my plan is to go eat at a Vietnamese restaurant I ate at last time. I found it at the end of my trip, right over here in the Ayala Mall. It's called Phat Pha, Phat, Phat Pha Pha Pho. It's Pha, I think. Man, did I have some of the best coffee I've ever had in my life there, Vietnamese coffee, and a soup that they have with some meat is so delicious. I hope they're still as good. So here we go. I'm not even pre-reading these. Hey, are you in the Philippines for good? Uh, not yet, and maybe but no, I'm here for 3 weeks, and I'm I'm gonna have fun, and I hope to go to two or three islands I did not visit last time. Last time I visited, well, I came into Cebu, and then I went to Siquijor and Mindanao, and I only had 10, 12 days. This time I've got 3 weeks, 20 days, roughly 21 days or something like that. And from here, I think I'm going to check out Bohol for, again, I'm doing this by the flying by the seat of my pants. I'll book the places, which another tip, I use Agoda for the most part. When I did it in the past, I didn't even know if it was respectable or trust. It's a great platform, great rates, and I'll be using that, and I'll book the day of, or last time I even booked I went into the place because they said, well, if you talk to the people, you can get a better rate. I went in there and they said, no, book it on Agoda, and because they had like a promotion, I got a better rate. I booked it right there in front of them and got my room just like that. So pretty cool. Uh, but yeah, I'm tired. Jet lag, not senior moment, jet lag moment. From Bohol, then I think I'm going to Dumaguete area. I didn't get there last time. It's kind of a vloggers. Everybody lives there. I'm gonna check it out for 3 or 4 days. Just hang out. It's kind of a fun place. It's a good place. Lots of restaurants, etc. Just see another island. It's Negros Oriental, and then from there, Mindanao, or no, back Siquijor for about a week. Love that island. Everybody loves that island. It's gotten expensive because it's the place to go now when you're in this region. Then back up to Cebu to fly to Davao, and Davao for about at least 4 or 5 days, maybe a little more. And then back to Cebu for a day or whatever, and then back to the past. No, yeah, I'll be going back. So I'll basically be leaving and going back to yesterday. That's the itinerary. I'll keep you filled in. I hope to do some lives. I hope to be able to do, I don't know how, I don't have the editing capabilities with this that I do, or at least I'm not versed or well enough on my computer. I'll be doing everything on my phone. I always record with my phone, but it makes it more challenging. I might try to see if I can do it on the iPad, which I know you can, but I don't know how the app Filmora is what I'm using, how it will work. I even brought my mouse because I'm not going to do things like this. We'll see how it goes. Okay, I'll catch you on the replay. All right, Sage, cool. Oh, wow. All right, your soothing voice isn't helping me stay awake. I was just going to say, I'm known for putting people to sleep. When I had a podcast from Hawaii, I got commented on that all the time. Oh, I fall asleep every night to your voice. It's true. I put people to sleep, which is why I had some guys from Germany, young guys, say, you should do ASMR. I didn't even know what it was back then. Oh, you could. That's what you should do. You have the voice for it. Because, yeah. So, maybe someday. Is this rural or suburban, urban? I'm in a very urban area right now, very urban. And I will be visiting mostly in urban areas, suburban areas, and what would be considered the province, uh, which is like literally province, which is really cool. We had a party there with a family I know here. We're going to have another one, and where they laid out the spread for me. It was amazing, and you'll get to see what a Filipino party is like, especially when I mean it was. You'll see. I love it. You know, banana trees across the street, big leafy, laid on the table. Those are your tablecloths. Rice went on the banana leaves. It's called a boodle. Lots of food, lots of fun, karaoke, everything. It's what it is. So I'll be documenting that hopefully this time and sharing that with y'all. It's different, right? But it's cool. What are the Thanksgiving plans? Hey, you know what? That's an American holiday. I don't think they have turkeys here. They have chicken. Chicken's really popular. One thing you can't get meat like you can. Now in the Dumaguete area, I think you can. I've heard you can, like steaks. I mean, you can get them, but they're very expensive. I think a lot of the beef here comes from Australia and Japan. So we're talking great quality beef. I won't say better, but yeah, you don't have to. I'm looking forward to having some beef, some steaks, if I can find places, and I feel like splurging because I think they're more expensive here, obviously, than in because they have to be shipped in to the island, whatever island you're on. Mm. So Thanksgiving, that's in about what in the world? That's just like next week. See, you lose track of time here. I'm on another part of the world's time right now. Uh, I don't think Thanksgiving here will be any different for me than today or tomorrow. Not even sure which island I'll be on. It'll either be probably Bohol or Dumaguete, or I should say Bohol or Negros Oriental. I think that's where Dumaguete, that's the island, what it's called, for that day. And here's the thing, though. I try to remember every day to live in the spirit of the Thanksgiving holiday, American Thanksgiving holiday, right? Gratitude, thankfulness. But it won't be a traditional Thanksgiving meal. Any, well, of course there are, and everything that you know about it, yes. Um, I'd like to talk a lot more about that as far as just how culturally, when you find, I'll just say this, there are, I think I know what you're referring to. Yeah, you are with the eyeballs. The lady boys, that kind of thing. My brother just harasses me about that. That's a good topic for the future. Man, I'll tell you, that's an interesting topic, but I'm not looking for that. But it's true. Phil, glad to see you made it. Oh man, thanks, Nick. Yeah, I'm still recovering. It's not as bad as I'm maybe making it out. Because here's the way I look at it. I've got this. That's why I went up to Seattle first. I wasn't interested in a direct flight. That's what everybody looks for. That's why I normally like to travel in the States. I want direct flights. I don't want layovers. On this case, a layover, and again, this took months of thinking about it, looking at examples, listening to people. I wanted a layover because we're looking at a 16-hour flight direct, and usually it stops on the West Coast. But 16 hours. The longest flight I'd ever taken in my life before then was 6 hours to Hawaii, multiple times. That I had a hard time with. And now I'm looking at 16. I don't know how I'm dealing with that. Uh, and I can't afford business class. That's an easy thing to do. If you could do a business class, first class, oh wow, that's the way to travel. That wasn't happening. So I thought, wait a second. So what it all boiled down to is I'll fly in the day before to Seattle. Yeah, and the reason Seattle is it's only 11 and a half hour flight to only, but 11 and a half hours to Seoul. Layover, get stretched, go use the bathroom, relax. You can take a shower there if you wanted to, and then on to Cebu for about 3-4 hours. And that just made sense to me, and it worked out perfectly. That was my itinerary 2 years ago. It was my itinerary a day and a half ago, um, and it works good. Although the last 2 hours of that 11 and a half hour stretch, you get a little whatever. So I made sure I had downloaded lots of YouTube videos and podcasts. And I thought, man, I've laid around home before. And I did lay around, not sit there on a seat. Another cool thing. So far, No one in the middle seat. Last time or this time. Hopefully going back, same thing. That way I can kind of lean and get the old body stretched out, the aches, you know. But for 11 and a half hours is a long time. It's like watching YouTube for 11 hours. Just about. So, yeah. Thanks for the, where am I here? What are your Thanksgiving? Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Glad to see you made it. Yeah. Okay. We're about caught up here. Very good. I once celebrated New Year's Eve in Hong Kong. Wow. Flew home then. Oh, now come on. There's no way I wouldn't even want to be anywhere near having a party the day before and fly that. Celebrated New Year's Eve. Wow. You are an animal ready. Holy cow. Party in the today and then party tomorrow, or no, party today and then party again yesterday. What would have been yesterday? Oh, that's crazy. I'd like to hear more about your experiences with the international flights, because you just don't do a trip like this and say, oh, I'll just take an airplane ride, at least not at 60 plus. I see these young people, man, this is nothing to them. They hop on these flights with their little backpacks, they're dressed really cool, comfortable, and they sleep. I can't usually sleep on a flight. I will get to the point where I can just doze and I'll wake up in 30 minutes and go, oh, thank goodness there was 30 minutes that passed like that. But yeah, if I could sleep, that could really make things easy in a seat. My fear is dozing off. Have you ever had someone next to you put their head on your shoulder in the flight? Give me a nah, that's not happening. Come on, unless it's no, drooling, whatever. No, it's like no, I don't tolerate that well. My kids know me. They know dad, and they would laugh. They know how I feel. It's like I once had kind of a elbow shoving match years ago with a lady probably in her 70s. Oh, she was adamant in the middle seat, sitting like this, and I'm not proud of myself, but I thought, you know what? You're in my space now. I mean, it wasn't just like that. It was like this. And she was a little lady, and man, she was strong too. But it got to the point where I said, I've had enough of this. You need to at least respect my space because I've been respecting yours. Confessions of a Bad Traveler. All right. Cool. Well, I think so far, if any have any other questions or whatever, Nick, yeah, let's just bring on questions or comments, etc. I'm glad to have you all here. Um, and I'm gonna go get a nap here. Well, I haven't finished my coffee yet, but almost. You recognize the brand, people? Come on. Yeah. Mm. So again, this was okay. This was a little over just about $2 for our Grande Christmas blend. Oh, they don't have creamer here in the Philippines, at least. Yeah, they have milk. I'm drinking it black. Tastes great. That's the way I was drinking it. It's much better for me anyway. Layovers are good. Yeah, Nick, internationally, yes. I even got to the point in the States, if it was more than a 4-hour flight, I welcomed a layover just to be able to get up, stretch, be in the airport. They're usually not more than an hour. Internationally, this was supposed to be a 3.5-hour layover. We got delayed out of Seattle, so we sat in the plane for an hour or so. So we got into Seoul, and I only had about an hour and a half, if that, of that 3-hour layover. And what was nice, so Korean Airlines, which I've flown twice now, gosh, just had really good experiences. I've heard most Asian airlines, though, you'd be surprised, compared to what we're used to, they're amazing. They serve so much food that I declined the third meal and the couple snacks. I just didn't. I thought, come on, I don't need it, and it was good. They were good. But layovers are good, yeah. Let you move your body, keep the circulation. Absolutely. Even on the plane, get up and go to the restaurant. Oh, and you know what? Getting up, that's why I took an aisle seat on the long, so I can get up when I want, not feel I'm harassing everyone. And I'm the guy, if you're in my aisle or my row and you need to get up to go, oh, great. Gives me another reason to get up and stretch. So, yeah, that's important on these, at the 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-hour flights. The more you have an opportunity to get up and just stretch or walk around, that's good. And I'm getting about to the point. 2 years ago, there was a guy He's a little guy, and he would walk. He would just get up, and every few hours I'd see him just walking by. Where's he going? He was, I mean, he might be going bad, but no, he would have his hands behind his back like this, and he would just walk. And I thought, that guy know, yeah, this is good. He had to be at least, I would say, 60. And he just walked around. And I'm thinking of doing that on my next flight when I come back. Just get up, just walk around quietly, and do do the loop. Maybe I can get up into the first class area. I just thought I could embellish a story there. Maybe I get a chance to sit up in first class. Just sit down on an empty seat. Maybe they won't notice me. Oh my goodness. Anyway, what are we doing here? Yes. What else was I going to tell you before we get off of this today? Again, this is the room. Now, the first night I came in, I get in at about 11 something p.m. So here in Cebu, they've got a real convenient, but a little bit expensive resort, whatever it's called, waterfront. If you've been here, you know it. It was just too big. It was like about, at this time, the rates can run anywhere from 80 to 100, 120 a night. And of course, it's kind of Western standards as far as, roomier rooms, bathrooms, roomy. That's not the case everywhere here in the Philippines. But, look at me here. This is a very comfortable room, very clean, hot water, decent water pressure. It has even an outlet that is Western standard, so you can plug in your normal, because a lot of places here you've got to have the 220 or whatever it is, whatever. So I have 2 power banks, etc. So yeah, it's all good. This was $31 a night with special pricing on Agoda. I love Agoda, man. I've even started to think about checking them out even when I'm in the States. It's a solid website for that. So yes, Alan, this is it. I'm live. I'm coming to you from your tomorrow. Let me review. It's 11:39 in the morning here, Thursday, the 20th. I love the time game that you get to play when you're over here talking to you all back there. I'm talking to yesterday in my today. So yes, Alan, we are live, and I'm just getting ready here. I just saw a cool comment. Let me just work through these here. Reddy, I want to hear more about this. I want to hear more about I wonder if it's going to be embellished about how you celebrated New Year's in Hong Kong and then celebrated again on the way back. That's, like I said, you're a beast or an animal. Partying 2 days in a row after a 16-hour flight, maybe 18 hours, 20 some hours of travel time, maybe. Wow, man, that's great. That's good. Now, what's this mean here? Handstand aisle. Wait, explain. I'm at a loss. Oh, I love this. This is what I was looking for. How's the English, or most of yours speak Philippine? That is a great question, and is probably one of the top reasons, absolutely one of the top reasons people visit the Philippines, but more importantly, why they would live here. It's the only Asian country. Interesting facts. Well, no, well, that basically most people, even in the province, even speak English, or at least a form of, part of English. Their English is way better than my Philippine language. Now, let me explain that. In the Philippines, I don't know how many languages there are. There's Tagalog is the official country's language. You guys can correct me. And then in the area I'm in, Visayan is the language of, and they're related, but they're different. And literally, it's not like what would you call, like, people in the South in the United States versus people in the Northeast versus people in the West. Those are more accent related. Well, we all have different, we have our ways of saying some things, like soda and pop. There's some of that here where the words would be different, but it is English. So English is spoken almost everywhere. You're not going to find a place where that, like when I ordered my coffee, it's all in English, and they're fine with that. I mean, they actually, it's almost like a second language here that most people speak. So it makes it very easy overall to communicate. So, but at the same time, Philippine people, it would probably be very unusual to find somebody that only spoke one language, their Philippine language. And I've heard there's 7 or more dialects here or languages. I'm going to bring on maybe some Filipinas, and we could do a live talk with a real Filipino in the Philippines. Um, so yeah, that makes it really, I mean, you don't have to worry. And communication is a big thing. Like, and then in the airports, like in Seoul, it's all, there's English, when you're checking your flights and stuff, you'll see it flash. It goes from Korean, I think, to Taiwan, Chinese, and English. I mean, all these languages being, so for everybody there. I've heard though in the airport in Taiwan, or is it, I'm not, maybe Taipei, there isn't, it's a little tougher. It's harder to find English understanding or speaking instructions or people or signage. But like in Korea, in Seoul, Incheon, the signs are in English. Boy, I'll tell you what, I don't even feel like I'm in a foreign country. The signage is so good. Although my favorite, I have to show you something. I don't know why this is something to me that's, I get a kick out of it. And I'll do a video or tell you this story another time. Let me just show you what one of my first memories is when I got back. And I had to take a picture of it because it's so, there's a good story behind it. You see this? See that? That's your exit symbol all over the Philippines. You know what it means? It means run for your life. And that's from a Filipino as a joke, but it was funny as all get out because last time I was here, I experienced my first earthquake, and it was a big one, 7.7. And the building, so I think it was the 4th floor of a 7-story thing. So what did I do? I ran to where every good Midwestern boy knows to go where safety is, and that's a door jamb. The bathroom door jamb. And I stood there holding it, which, thank goodness, there's a long story to this, but everything was fine. Luckily, this thing was just about 100 miles away, which is pretty close. And again, it shook the building. And the next night, I was on the rooftop, and the aftershock hit. It was a 7.0, and on the top of the roof. I was a little more calm at that time because I really thought, okay, it lasted a while. It kept shaking, and it got more violent a little bit, and the building started to creak, and it gives me goosebumps to think about it right now because I kind of thought, all kinds of things run through your mind, like, oh my gosh, I came this way, I'm going to die, and it's going to crumble, whatever. Then it stopped. But then I found out when we exited the building, finally, the safest place to stay in the building and the strongest structural area, if you're in an earthquake, is don't get in an elevator, but stand next to the elevator. The concrete is the most reinforced area. So everything might crumble around you, but that elevator shaft might still be there. You'd be hanging, dangling, maybe. I don't know. But that's what I learned. And I asked the guy, what's with those exit signs where there's a guy running? I said, does that have a meaning in Filipinos, He says, yeah, run for your life. And these things are everywhere. In Korea, in here, they don't say like in America, it just says exit. It says run for your life in a graphic. It's always green and white. It's funny. I think it's funny. All right, where am I? Oh no, where was I? Some of you guys have all of a sudden had a surge in, yes. Alan, I think I may have addressed this. Yes, I'm in the Philippines and will be for the next 3 weeks. Pretty cool, pretty fun. Just thought I saw a mouse, but I didn't. Instead of walking, do a handstand. Oh, instead of walking, do a handstand. Yeah, that was a reference to a handstand. Do it. Retirement cash flow. Come on. Have you seen me? Should I show you my assets? I'm not doing no handstand. I've almost fallen. Oh, maybe this is in reference to my earlier comment about I've almost fallen twice. Yeah, because of uneven. I'm just walking along thinking, and there are lots of uneven stuff here, and holes and rock things that you could twist an ankle, and oh gosh, what a mess that would be. Unless it was captured on video. And by the way, only for you live participants, will I show you something? Ooh, I got an idea. Um, if it's captured on video and I was wearing my new, I know I splurged, but no, paid cash, the new Meta AI glasses. Watch this. Let me see if it comes on here. Connect to my phone. I can do video with this up to 3 minutes at a time. I can take pictures hands free. And I plan to use this. So it is. So right now, I'm going to record my first live. Okay. By saying, hey, Meta, take a picture. There he goes. Oh, hey, Meta, take another picture. There we go. I'll post that on the community tab. See how these things work. Just took 2 pictures. I can do video right now if I wanted to, but I'm not going to bore myself or you with that. But these are they're transitions, and so yeah, if you know anything about me, I love whatever. But this is a business investment. It's a business expense. This is going to help me document my trip to the Philippines, and as a result, will be a business deal. We're going to see how it goes. I'm pretty excited about these. I'm the first person in my realm of people back in the States that has this pair. Would I have bought them otherwise? I don't think so. It's not that kind of. This is truly going to help me with my channel, I think. And it's easier to use than a drone, which I bought years ago. But yeah, I'm excited about the Meta glasses. I'm beginning to like them more and more. And I'll tell you what, we're a short year or two away where these things will be pretty cool to have. Not these, because this will be old technology by then, but the new ones that are coming, it's now the newest ones, you just you put on this thing and you just do this kind of stuff and control everything. You don't even have to give it voice commands. You just move your hand. It's crazy. Yes, Nick, this is correct, although it's one word as far as I know. Tagalog, yes. That's the main one, and it's spoken most often in Manila. When you get out to the other islands and the areas where I'm at, Visayan is the most spoken language. Yes, it was a U.S. colony. Yes. I just realized, I mean, so much history here. Before I came, one of the Filipina has a very successful channel here. She did a thing about the Battle of Leyte, which was in World War II, how critically important the battles were here in the Philippines. And actually, to this day, I think the American military is highly regarded and respected because they helped free these islands from Japanese at the time. Again, what do you call it? Control. And another thing I've thought about, I was going to do it today, but I'm going to rest more. Magellan landed like within a few, I don't know, half hour from here, and they've got a thing up there for that. And of course, if you know any kind of history in any island area of the world, when the Europeans were, when that was happening, there was not all positive. Matter of fact, I'm not sure. I think the negative outweighed the positive for a lot of the native people because of the diseases that were spread with the different areas of the world, that kind of thing. And there's just that part of exploration that you don't necessarily get in grade school. Okay, so Laura, being the researcher, has made a correction. Yes. 1898 to 1946. Yeah. And then Spain, that's why Spanish, the languages here have a lot of Spanish influence with the words. And although I got to tell you a funny story. In hanging out with this family I know here, and all the men and their friends, we were drinking Red Horse. I was providing, but it was just part of the party. The women don't drink alcohol very much here, which is interesting. I mean, they do, I suppose, but all the women were getting the food ready and doing karaoke, and we were sitting across the street at one of their houses and on the porch there. And well, the way it happens here is the Filipinos, their tradition is to have one glass and they all share it. And then when it gets done, they fill it back up and they share. Very community, very cool. But being an American, they knew that we don't do that in the United States or America or the West. So I got my own glass. So during the afternoon, we went through many liters of bottles of Red Horse. One sip at a time. Now here was the thing. I had my own glass. They had a glass they shared with 5, 6, 7, whatever. They'd all take a sip, whatever. Then their glass would be empty. They'd fill it up. They come over and fill mine up. Even if I didn't finish my whole glass, it didn't matter. I'd be halfway through it, maybe three quarters, maybe just a quarter. Oh, fill here. We fill ours. We fill yours. What a fun time! It was really fun. So at the end of we did that for a couple days. I'm not a couple days straight, but I was over there twice. I think we sat there 2 days. Again, my memory miscert, and I'm not remembering it totally clearly. But I remember the last time I would say, "Okay, guys, got to go. This has been a great meeting. It's been so nice to hang out with you guys, etc." I said, "Uno más," in my best Spanish that I could muster. And here we got this group of people having a good time talking. They understand about half, if that, of what I'm saying. But there was a sister or cousin that was helping with translation stuff. And anyways, they looked at me. You'd say uno más. You'd hear, yeah, let's go, one more, let's do it, one more, uno más. Dead silence. They kind of looked at me, uno más. What is it? I said, oh, uno más means one more. Before I go, one more. Oh yeah. So we get another bottle out. Everybody had one more. After a couple of those one mores, they were saying uno más. True story, fun story, and I look forward to having a party with them here, probably within the week or two, of seeing if I'm sure they'll remember it. I'll get it on record of uno más, and we'll see how they respond. Blown up any of your electronics yet? Don't. I know you. Yeah, Brad, 220. So what's cool is these. Yeah, I'll take a picture of it in the future. But one of them is no, because in these at least updated the hotels, resorts, whatever. And I'm basically in a hotel with it's not a resort area, resort hotel. You can use your. I hope you can. I've been using it, but I've been pretty much using my power banks like to power things so I don't run out of power right now. And I'll be putting direct connection into these to. I mean, it works. Otherwise, you have to use a converter because they're on like the European same thing, the 220 or whatever it is. Yeah, like you say 220. Most things here though, in the major hotels, etc., you're going to have. They either provide you with the converters. I've experienced that, the hotel resort, or they're updated enough to where they have enough Westerners here where it's wired for the what is it, 120 versus 220. Oh, Nick, hold on here. Wow, that's a big one. Where are we at here? You guys jump back on here. This is cool. I got nothing better to do for another. I'm gonna try to wrap this up at an hour. We got about 5-10 minutes. Wow, that's a big one. What was I was talking about? Oh, the earthquake. Yeah, it is 7.7. If that would have hit. So what I've learned a lot about earthquakes. There's two kinds: the kind that do this shake, and the kind that do this. This one and these are the absolute most destructive. The closer you are to the epicenter of this one, could level everything. But at 7, or 8, or a 9, those are some of the biggest in the history of recorded earthquakes. But 7.7 is very. Luckily, it was 100 miles away from Davao at that time, out in the ocean. And the other thing that matters is how close of the quake, when the plates shift, is it to the surface of the earth versus being buried. This one was maybe 50 miles deep. Yeah, I think it was 50. It's pretty close actually, but luckily, and it was in a less populated area, but much of the Philippines felt it. Like I said, we 100 miles away on that one. It rocked the building, and had it been one of these, that's where they're very whatever. And right now, I don't even think about it, but Cebu had a 6.6 or 8 near 7 about 2 months ago, month ago. It was in between the typhoons, and but everything is still standing. Obviously, it was okay. Yep. I don't want to experience one again, but living in the Philippines, it is considered one of the most. It may be. I think I've seen statements that this is the most dangerous natural disaster area in the world, with all the things that can I guess go wrong here. But you live, like you say, you live the best you can here. Okay, I like this question here. Okay, wait. All right, there we go. Oh, wait. So, yeah, Nick says, let us know if the KFC is better in the Philippines or in the US. Well, I told you, they don't have KFC here that I know of. Maybe in the big cities or in the malls. I'll tell you what, they still have Shakey's Pizza. I had a pizza here last time, and I had a Shakey's Pizza for lunch, quick lunch. Delicious. Matter of fact, that was good. I'll probably, if I can, I've already seen one. It was in the airport, actually. I'll have a Shakey's if it's near lunch or something. I'm gonna have a piece of Shakey's pizza. The chicken last night, again, I thought it was better than KFC because number one, way less greasy, way less. But it looked like it was a steroid-filled chicken. This drumstick was this big. That's not natural, right? No way I want those. Oh, the glasses. Hey, I think I'm doing a better job following along with your comments in less than real time. Yeah, they're cool, Alan. They're cool. I'm really liking. I'm glad I've already used them a few times. You have to be careful here though, because there's recently passed new privacy rules law. It's very serious. You can be in big trouble here if you use them in public without consent of the people. So a lot of the vloggers now are very careful about vlogging in public and having people without their consent in the videos. They can actually, to the point, say, "Hey, you showed me. I didn't give you my permission," and they can, I think, sue you. All right. Did you buy them in the Philippines? Bit them? No, I know what you mean. No, absolutely not. I bought them via Target in the good old USA because I'll just tell you this because everybody wants to know how much they are. Well, they're, $800 or so. But I have iMed insurance. It would have only been about $300, but I have to have prescription, and so I pay for that. All the stuff that comes with my prescription. I have Coke bottle lenses if it's not reduced, and that costs more. I did get transition, so there's sunglasses outside. I wasn't going to do that, but then I thought, wait, I'm going to be outside a lot, so I did. I paid a little extra for that. Out the door, about $530 or something like that for prescription, transition, Meta AI technology glass Ray-Bans. Oh, for those people that just slammed me then and continue to slam me that I bought Ray-Bans. Number one, you don't have much of a choice. I think Oakley and Ray-Ban are the two uh, name brands that you have for Meta glasses. But yeah, good old broke Phil, broke boomer, spending his hard-earned money on things he can't afford. And to be honest, I mean, I've saved for everything on this trip. It's very, at the end of this trip, I'm going to do an accounting of each day's amount I've spent, how much the hotels cost, the resorts, how much everything. Like I said, the coffee on today's report was just a little over about $2. It'll all come together. Now, my goal, I think I am going to probably spend more on hotels or lodging than maybe originally planned, because it seems like the prices for average ones or even real good ones are, they're going to be up over $70 a night. Think about that. Let's say I originally planned to average 50, 60. Let's say it's $80 a night. I'm here for 20 nights, 18 nights. Let's go 20 because the math is easier. And I'm a math genius. But 80 for 10 nights is 800. So for 20 nights, it would be 1,600 US dollars. Greenbacks. $1,600 to stay in the nicest or nice places. I'm tempted on just a couple. On Seagior, there's a very famous one. I'll be going back to the beach there. It's beautiful, and it's over $100 a night. But it's, Seagior is expensive now, way more because it's so popular. It's a tourist destination now like never before. It's like I said, beautiful, and there's a lot of. It's just a great. But you'll see. But think about that. What did I say? $1,600 on if I average $70, $80 a night for lodging. And this isn't, these are places in the United States that would be $200 to $400 or more dollars a night, comparable. So yeah, so I'm thinking, okay, yeah, man, I'd get out of here under 3,000 for that. Food is going to be minimal. Transportation did cost $4 or $8 for the Grab taxi. from the airport to here. It's about 8 miles. Traffic. I did try to record a little bit of that. I'm gonna record more of the traffic here. It's fun to watch. You won't believe it. It is so. They know what to do though. They know what the honks. They use their horn. They know when to cut in, when to go. You got scooters, motorcycles coming this way, that way, trucks, and this, yeah, that honk, honk, they pull over. And people just seem to know when someone's going this way or that way, jigging and jagging. Uh, it's kind of amazing. Now there are accidents, but it's just amazing. Uh, so I have the transportation might run me a little bit more. I don't know yet. I'll tell you my biggest challenge though I'm facing, and I didn't quite think this out right. I have I have a medium-sized suitcase and a backpack. That suitcase is going to be a real hassle. I'm thinking of picking up another backpack here. I can leave these. This was what I did last time. I left my suitcase here at the hotel. They watched it for like 100 pesos a day. That's $2. Uh, for let's say I leave it here for 15 days, that's going to be an extra $30. But I don't have to lug it around. But I just got to figure out. I pretty much just brought t-shirts, the shirts you've seen me in, and shorts. That's it. One pair of jeans, which I wear on the flight. That's it. Those won't see daylight again until I go back. But I can't pack it all into even two backpacks really. So, but I think I'd rather lug around backpacks, especially when we're going to be transportation. Well, there will be a flight, but most of it will be by ferry. I just can't see. I may end up doing that, but then when I get to the destination, I got the suitcase. I got to put on there. I wanted to do if I want to change, I got to put it on a scooter. But I plan to rent a motorbike or little motorbikes at least part of the time. I guess I can do tuk-tuks. Those will be fine. So I don't know. We'll see how that comes out. I'll have some pretty good information about how to do that when you're traveling here. All right. Meta glasses, yes, couldn't afford them, so I bought the X-ray specs from the back of a comic book instead. Of course you did. And I bet those are cool. Isn't it amazing that I think of Dick Tracy? Think about these watches we have now. We can talk in them. We can, video. They're amazing, aren't they? And remember the Dick Tracy watch? That was so futuristic, so sci-fi. And it's a reality today. Oh, Alan. I just saw the last name, and I just realized who I'm talking to, a coworker, friend, and a guy that has just had some surgery. Alan, I hope it's all going good. I'm so sorry. I did not. That's because I didn't want your germs, Phil. Wait a second. What's that referencing? Germs. In this conversation we've had over the last hour, what was I talking about that made you say that? Hey, man, I hope it's all going good. So glad to see you here for sure. What do you talk, Alan? Let me know what you're talking about if you're still on. Yeah, Laura, what do you think? 80 USD per night. I don't think you can get motel. You know what? You can't. Because when I went to visit my kids the last time to Texas, when was that? A few months ago? And I was thinking, now this is the thing about me. I always stayed in hotels rather than with the kids, although it got so expensive. Okay, I'll take a bedroom. Thank you very much, kids. And they have really nice houses, so it's not like, and plus my grandgirls, to have them there, there's never been a better sound in the morning to hear them whispering, pop, pop, or let's get, whatever. They know to leave me alone because I know my daughter, at least, really strict. Don't wake him up. He's going to be angry. No, you can never get angry at a grandchild, especially a grandgirl. By the way, my grandson got his first haircut. And what's so funny is I made the comment to my daughter, seeing his picture. He's 2 years old now, I hope. I think. Never had a haircut. He had hair, and he's got the pop, pop flip when it gets real long. I made a comment. I said, man, he needs a haircut. Coming from me with the way I wore my hair all the years. And she pointed that out recently. But anyways, he got his hair cut today. He looked so good, so fun. And I don't know what got me on. Laura, I blame you. Somehow I went on to that topic. But anyway, yeah, all of his sisters were there. It was kind of a family event. They went to a hairstylist, a barber, or a beauty shop, whatever, and got his haircut. And it's pretty cool. I think it was great. You know how kids usually on the first haircut when they're 1, 2 years old, whatever, they cry. I think he enjoyed it. Yeah. So it's so funny though. He cut his short. He has boy hair now. Not as he had hair that rivaled his sister's with the curl. Yes, Nick, Red Horse. What? Oh, the germs. Thank you for following along, Nick. Yeah, Alan, that's what you were referencing. They didn't want my germs. Americano. No Americano germs is bad. You're probably right. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Red Horse. Yeah. But what a cool, that's the way it is. And you know what? I wouldn't have trouble sipping it. You know. Uh, yeah, I've been one to really be a stickler about that though in my life. No, can you have a sip? No, not even with my wife at the time or partner, whoever. I'm not. No, I'll get you your own drink. Hmm. Nor my kids. I don't. I have to have my kids on sometime. Well, you know what? I really would like to do that. For me, I'd like to get their perspective of their memory of growing up with me as their dad. I think though they would confirm, oh yeah, they knew me so well they would know they would never ask me for a sip out of my cup. I think they knew better. Yeah. Okay. Hey. Yeah. So Ryan. Yeah. I know. When I went to schedule this live, it would not let me schedule for you today because today here was yesterday. So you can't go back in time on this. So I tried whatever. I changed it once. I don't even know what it says this is starting at. So that's when I did the old boomer back in the day. My first lives. If you go live, I put a timer on it with that funny thing, and I took some heat about that because it would just keep looping. It was funny actually. 60 seconds to come down to zero, and it would start again. And then some of the people that were early would say, "Oh, here we go again." Phil's we never know when he's actually going to start. Well, one of the reasons you do that is it sends out a live message that What's Up Boomer is live. So that was the only notification you really got. And it was good enough for many. And I know it's getting later there now. So it's noon here in the Philippines on Thursday. And it would be late evening, early night, Wednesday. It's basically 15 hours from Phoenix. The way I keep track of it when I'm in Phoenix is if it's 10 o'clock at night in Phoenix, you add 3 hours because there's a 15-hour difference. You add 3 hours, so it'd be 11. It'd be 1, and you always go opposite. If it's night, it'll be day, so it'd be 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So that means it's 9 p.m. in Phoenix right now because it's noon the next day. It's 15 hours ahead. I have a lot of fun with it because it's like you literally are going back to the future for you. Back to, yeah, if you go back, but you are, I'm coming to you live tomorrow. It's Thursday, noon. It's tomorrow. I'm talking to people that are in yesterday still. I just think that's funny. I know it's like beating a dead horse. I'll be doing it because I love this concept. Man, I'm retired. It's late. Oh, enjoyed some good bourbon. All right, hold on. This is too complex. I know it's mind blowing, isn't it? Hey, Ryan, what's the bourbon of choice that you're drinking? I have a good bourbon story. I'm in Louisville, Kentucky, visiting my daughter and son-in-law at the time. And I go to a bourbon. Well, I just go to a establishment. Okay, it's a bourbon bar. It's what it turns out. I just think it's a neighborhood bar. It was near where I was staying, and I go into this place. Really cool, big, all this wood and all of these what turned out to be bourbons. I'm just thinking it's liquor. It's all bourbon. And I order a Coors beer. Being I grew up in Colorado, they had Coors Banquet beer, and I thought, you just don't see that anymore. And I said, I'll have a Coors Banquet beer. He looked at me and says, Coors? I go, yeah. He brings it to me. This guy got so bothered. He's walking back and forth. And after about the fourth time, he says, hey, man, no offense, but can I ask you, why you ordered a Coors beer, not like Coors beer, in a bourbon bar in Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah, I was embarrassed. I thought, oh. I look around, oh my God, this is a known bourbon bar. And I'm sitting there drinking. I must look like a freak. I got it getting ready to be thrown out. How dare you come in and order Coors? And I said, oh my gosh. I said, and I appreciate, at the time I was learning about bourbons, not Jack Daniels, not Jim Beam, because that was my extent of my bourbon drinking in my past. That's insulting. They're not even Kentucky bourbons, or at least Beam or whatever it is. They're from Tennessee, Jack Daniels, I think. And I said, oh man, I'm sorry. I said, gosh, you're right. I said, I've lived most of my life in Colorado. I couldn't believe you had Coors. I thought I'd enjoy one. And he said, oh, he was like relieved. Reminds me of the guy in It's a Wonderful Life. Get this Patsy out of here. That's what I felt like. He said, hey, man, well, if you're interested in a Kentucky bourbon, you're in Louisville, I'll be happy to. I said, absolutely. So for the next hour and a half, I had four bourbons there, went from $8 to over 100. I told him, well, take it easy. I said, I could afford one of those, but he said, don't worry. He hooked me up with 4 rounds of a bourbon shot or whatever. Learned all about them that night. They went from $8 ones, $12 one, and maybe a 20-some dollar one. Wow. They were all great, really good. And all Kentucky bourbons, of course, and all aged in whiskey barrels, whatever. and that night, I understood that there's so many. I understand bourbon bars now. I would love. I haven't done it lately because it kind of I'm not sure that alcohol is good for my stomach. But anyway, yeah. So hold on, Ryan. You reply here. Let me get to that real quick. Larceny. All right, Grand Larceny. Is your bourbon of choice? Yes, Nick. It's Phil live from the future. Yes. Hey, you know what? There's my title for future. I hope to do a live at least once or twice a week. These are fun. It also helps keep you updated, keep me connected with the community. As most people, again, will watch this after the fact. They can do it on Faster Play. And just, if you're interested in travel as a retiree, these are the kind of things I plan to be talking about. And in the real time, I'll be talking about what's happening. I'll be talking about what's been happening in your future. I'm going to play that up. You guys get used to it. You do kind of resemble Dr. Brown. Hey, wait a second. It's a boomer reference. I should know that, but no, I don't. Help me out here. Help me out here. Here we go. Larceny is my bourbon. Okay. Now, I've never heard of it. There's something I'm going to look into. I've also heard since then, my son really got into bourbon, connoisseur. There's actually bourbons being made now. Some of the top bourbons in the world. Do you know where it's at? I get my audience that's still here. We've got a few people here for sure. And Ryan, you may know this. It's almost blasphemy, but they've taken the world by storm. This country in the bourbon world, which is a big world. This is a big honor. There you go. Oh yeah, Knob Creek, original 9-year. Knob Creek, I think, is just outside. Oh, it's near Shelbyville or Louisville. My brother does bourbon tours. He lives in Kentucky, and not from Kentucky, but yeah. Okay, we're getting into it here. This is good. I went to the Bourbon Tavern and asked for a bottle of everything they recommended. I got 8 bottles and found large. Okay. It's funny you say that because this guy, cool guy, told me he'd introduce me to real Kentucky bourbons, and the one that was the 20-some dollar was really amazing, and I can't remember the name. I ended up finding it at a bourbon establishment in Phoenix, and I had to order it. They ordered it. They had like 4 bottles. I bought one of them, and it's not too. Because these things can get really expensive, but this is good to get to know. And matter of fact, guys, and I found this about when I found this late in life. When you have a good bourbon or gin or whatever, I'll tell you what, Ryan, what would you do to anyone that took one of these bourbons and just shot it? I guarantee Ryan is not shooting these like we did in our 20s shots. These are made to be appreciated, and with ice or no ice, forget what they call that, clean or unclean, whatever. And with 1 cube, So I learned that night, and I took it with the cube so that it mellowed, and the flavor would change as the ice would melt. So it's pretty cool. Yes. I'm trying to remember where that bourbon place was in Louisville. It was in Bardstown or something like that, I think. Doc Brown from oh yeah. Well, okay. Who called him Dr. Brown? I don't remember that, but yes, Back to the Future. And listen, I only watched the first one of those. Didn't ever watch the ones that came after. Couldn't think of the word. But yes, this is truly when to be able to talk to you from your future. That's what's happening right now. Noonish on Thursday from the Philippines, talking to you on Wednesday. I can tell you, you probably won't pay $2 for your Starbucks coffee tomorrow. And I know you coffee connoisseurs are saying, well, I wouldn't pay 50 cents for a Starbucks coffee. I've always liked it though, for sure. All right. Anyone last, we've got the core group here. I know you guys have been, well, no, I'd like to know. No, we already got that. Is there anything else I had? I didn't even make an outline for this. I just thought I'd try. This was to try. Could I do it? I'm on the Wi-Fi from the hotel. It's working flawless. As a matter of fact, that's an interesting thing I've learned in my first visit here 2 years ago. The Philippines is considered a developing country. It's not really third world, although there's areas that are third world for sure. Nothing wrong with that actually either, but we tend to look down on that kind of stuff. We have preconceived ideas. But the coffee shops and obviously some of the hotels that I've been able to connect with Wi-Fi blow my Wi-Fi in the States, which is T-Mobile Home, and coffee shops in the States. This is like, how can I not get these kinds of speeds in the United States? Come on. This is like lightning fast stuff. The upload and download right here is like it's really good. Like I said, better than what I usually experience in the United States. I know we have access to it there and we pay for it, I suppose, but I don't get it at home. I don't get it in the coffee shops or wherever when I connect to Wi-Fi. Not these speeds. And it's kind of funny because this is a budget. What you have, $30, $31 a night, where I stayed the first night because it's literally I could walk from the airport to the hotel like in 5 minutes, 10 minutes. The waterfront. And it's a nice place. It ran 90 some dollars for that first night. I think I paid over 100 the last time. So I got a deal. And it's nice. It's nice. Yeah. Is it worth not, if I had my druthers, I'd pick another place. So, and when I'm in a place like this, I'm just looking for a place to shower, hot water, convenience. Like I said, I can walk. I'm getting ready. Ready. You asked me what I was going to do this afternoon. I'm going to take a little nap here for an hour or two. Like I said, it's 12:20 p.m. in the afternoon. And then tonight I'm going to eat at Fat Pho or whatever, a Vietnamese restaurant right across. Well, this mall is huge. It's a few city blocks, but the restaurant is in that mall. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. For $100, I can let you know. Let's do that just for fun. Which the stock market would be closed right now. Because it's operating, remember, it's in your part of the world, right? The time it's Wednesday night, later night there. What would you like to know? Which stock do you want to know, Ryan? I'll look it up right here live. Let's see what it says. Yes, appreciate it, Laura. You're welcome. Keeping posted. Well, this is fun for me. I know. I'm glad you appreciate it. We've started that community. I feel it's good. I feel like any of us meet in real life, and I've experienced this phenomenon, which is what it is years ago. When you meet someone you only have known online, as long as it's a healthy environment, it's it's like you know the person, uh, and you do. So it's kind of cool. Social. This is the good part of social media is when we connect with people, a real connection, and we can respect each other. And what's cool is making it depends on what that connection is built on. And this one is built on re- life after 60, whether you're there or not. But you know me as a person after 60 that's just making the best of the way things have turned out. And in my case, I don't have the nest egg for various reasons. We've talked a little bit about that. Some people have criticized, like, I understand why is it you as a boomer didn't end up with a at least $1 million. Uh, there's real reasons there, and it wasn't. There was some irresponsibility. As a matter of fact, this as stupid as this was, because I talk about the key to this is longevity, investing early and compounding that to the future. You know what I realized the other day is knowing that, having done that in my 20s and 30s, I took it out. Remember, there were some things happening in life there. I used that money, start a business. I used that money to get through a loss of a job or in between. Thinking, here's what I was thinking. I can make this up. I mean, a teacher salary, come on, it's not hard to replace that. I'll make more money by doing this. I'll take that money out of my investment, the 401k, the IRA at the time, and I'll put it toward my business. And you know what happened? You know what? It's just bad. I didn't realize that's the money. Had I left it, would have been the compounding return today. And by me doing that in my 30s and 40s, now that window is gone. That money is not there for 20 years, 30 years. I used the wrong money to do those things. And that's one of the big reasons why I don't have a million or more today. Although I did do a video about had I just, instead of starting a business, that was a big mistake in many, on different levels now. But had I taken just 5,000 of the, say, 30 or whatever that I used, just five, just one, what would it be if I would have invested in just one of the top 10 stocks of that day? I used Amazon being the example. It would be worth hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. As a matter of fact, one projection was $40 million if I would have taken 5 or 10 and just rolled the dice. Now, who would have done that? As I said in the video, no one. Amazon was just this book marketer back. No one saw what it was to become. So hindsight's 2020. So yeah, Messi, you're back. No, I did not. And I won't bore you with the thing. I'm going back an hour now plus to hour and a half almost to, but no, I have not moved. I'm visiting. I did put in the description. I know the title and the thing was a little clickbaity, but in a real way, I left the country. I didn't say I moved. And it was for fun. I wanted people to say, "Oh, Boomer moved," because I have talked about it. Haven't moved yet, or I have talked about it. I will continue future talk about it. But in the description, I said that I've left to visit for fun, exploration, and what the third one was. But yeah, I'm here to and to relax. This is my stay of working full time. Really, it's a great place to relax. Money goes a long way. And I haven't hit the beaches yet, but I will be in the other destinations. There are beaches where I'm going. Beaches are in my future and yours if you stick around. Don't worry about what you did or didn't do in the past. You have to give advice. Yeah, Ryan. I mean, and I've told people that. I've told my own kids this: get some money right now in an S&P exchange. That's the Warren Buffett's advice. I'm not a financial advisor. You got to say that stuff. Yeah, but for someone that's been around, the key is get your money in a safe investment. Which historically, there's no safe investments really, but there's some that have performed for generations or definitely decades. And as Warren Buffett has said, he's advised his own family going forward, his kids, take my money you're going to inherit, which he's already given, and put it in an exchange fund of the S&P 500, because I mean, it could go to crap, but it hasn't, and historically has performed well. So that would be, and then leave it there for the next 20 years minimum. Don't touch it. Don't go starting any businesses with it. Use other money. That was the thing. Everyone back then said use other people's money. OPM. I couldn't do that ethically, morally, because I knew that one of the businesses, which was the restaurant, man, I went into it going, there's a 50% chance of this failing in the first 2 or 3 years. I think that's what the stat was. 90% chance of failure in the first after 5 or 10 years. But yeah. Now, you may say, as I did, well, why would I even consider that? I would never consider that now. That's another story. I didn't buy, oh my goodness. So, one thing good about being a boomer, especially one that has stories, and I'll share them. Ryan, I remember when first hearing about this Bitcoin and thinking it was the most ridiculous scam I'd ever heard of. And I'd lived at the time, maybe I was 40 some years old. I'm not. I didn't even give it the time of day. That's what a bunch of BS. It's all technology. You don't get it's just total BS. And I didn't give it any time. Could have picked up stuff Bitcoin for a few dollars, tens of dollars, a single Bitcoin, which now is each one is well over 100,000. And it's a real thing, and there's a whole bunch of stuff behind it. Well, I'll just say this. Met a guy. I did get to live in Hawaii. I was not rich because I always thought people were. But anyways, I was making $12.50 an hour doing what I was doing, plus working other jobs, plus getting into my investments to survive there for 3 years. But I met a guy from Switzerland who was in his late 30s who he was there with his family. And I said, oh, Switzerland. I said, you in the banking industry? Because, what are you going to? He goes, actually, I am. I said, what? He says, I do. He says, I have made, he said, I've made enough money in cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, he said, to where I'll never have to work again. This was like, 10 years ago, something like that. And he told me about it. He says, yeah, you got to be careful, Phil. And he says, I'll tell you what, though, look into Ethereum. He said, that's something I would consider. And he sent me like $5 to introduce me to it. He sent me my first coin, or what it's called. And I actually did make money, and I made about, I don't know, $800, 1,000, where I put a little money in it. To this day, though, back then it was very hard to store. I had a Razor, whatever you call it, and to this day I have Bitcoin on that. Fractional shares. I don't know what it's worth. Probably a few $1,000s. It was a few hundred at the time. And so it's at least 10, I don't know, 10 times, 20 times what I bought it for. But guess what? I lost the code, so I'm not sure I can get into this thing. Yeah, there you go. And by the way, Ryan, Bitcoin probably was possibly the greatest opportunity of our lifetimes that we've seen. But who has the knowledge? Who would have, again, just like when I invested in Amazon. Oh, Len, I know your picture because I thought the crook in my lot. Who is Phil? Where am I? Yes, you are watching your future, Len. You are watching your future because I'm living in Thursday in your world, which is Wednesday. Where are you going to get that kind of connection? You're talking to the future here. Oh man, good to see you. When were you in Hawaii? Well, Ryan, let's see. 2000. Again, stories behind this. I first visited when I was a teacher years ago. Never thought I'd ever get back, and I always wondered, would I ever get back to Hawaii? Well, as not only did I get back, I ended up being able to live there for a couple of short years, 3 years. My visit was 2012 in December. 2012, or was it 13? Anyway, and then that was in December. Ended up moving there in the following spring. And then to Kauai. Started the first podcast from Kauai called Kauai Talk. You might be able to find some stuff out there on it. I think I since lost I have all the video, the files. I thought about putting it on YouTube as a memory thing. I had 50 some episodes and wanted to monetize that. There's a whole, I learned a lot from that. 53 or 6 episodes, and but let it go. The files were housed on Libsyn, and then I just quit that. I paid for that subscription for years, and they said enough. I didn't I thought I could still access them, but after so long, I remember getting an email, they're gone, but I have them on my computer. I think that would be a cool boomer story about, what I did now. Now, if I were to do it, I would just use YouTube as a podcast platform. Yeah. So 2012 or 13 to about 2015, 16, something like that, I think, on Kauai. Living there, I never got time or money to visit the other islands, even though I could have flown there for very little. So that's when it was. Were you there? Be interesting to know. Wouldn't that be something? There's a whole culture there too. You learn when people. I remember one time advising a person. Someone said, "Hey, so and so, a friend of mine's moving to Kauai. You should help them out." I said, "Yeah, I'll be happy." I said, "Listen," I said, "they're moving to Kauai. How much money do they have? How are they coming with?" "Oh, she's just selling her car and stuff and moving there." I said, "Where does she plan to live?" They had no idea what it was like coming from the mainland. You're a foreigner, basically, in your own country. I mean, I went there with someone that had connections. Otherwise, you're not going to get rented to. You're not going to get a job just like that. At least that was not the way I saw it. You better have some money. You better have 6 months worth of money and be able to pay, the nightly rate. Yeah, even finding a room to rent. That's what you're looking at. You're not going to rent a house or an apartment. There were no apartments there to rent. So, at least not on Kauai, Now, Oahu had a lot more apartments, but she had no idea, this lady, what she was looking at going into. And I communicated via whoever it was, I don't remember, to tell her, oh, what are you gonna, you're gonna ship your car over? Okay, whatever. Yeah, I should put together how I survived. You know what that is? How I survived on $12.50 an hour. When at the time, and it's still to live in Hawaii, you needed a wage to just survive at $35 an hour in Hawaii at that time, which is back in 2013, 14, 15. I think it's similar now. And I was making $12.50 an hour. And then I ended up, well, initially, who I went there with floated the bills, and the podcast was going to be a money man. It could have been, it didn't get there. Partly because I was shy about asking for sponsorships. But number two, I had a little investment that floated me as I went, and I worked at least 2 jobs, which was common. So that's real common in Hawaii to survive there. Okay, we got here. I went to Hawaii in '88 with the plan to stay. Cool tune. Turned into a long vacation. Oh, that's great. So Ryan, what island did you say? No, because that's kind of different. Each island there has its own culture, its own microorganism, so to speak. Um, yeah, I can only speak about Kauai, and it took me, I'd say, a good year before I was accepted as a visitor, and I was accepted by locals that when they accept you, man, you're like family. It's a wonderful experience and just good down to earth people. I remember when I was playing, that's where I learned and first heard of pickleball and got into it. And there was a great community of pickleball in Kauai. Jack Hodges was the ambassador to Hawaii for pickleball. Just an unbelievable community. I'm sure it still is. And I remember his name was Sia. He was originally from, or his family generations were from Tonga. And Sia, what a good man. And he worked at the local prison or jail there. He was in charge of the guys that they grew stuff there. And this was a jail in Kauai. There's no fence. You could just walk away from it at that time. And they did. Where did they go? They were lucky to be away for a couple days because you're not getting off the island. Okay. It's not like you're gonna jump on a boat and go to that would be suicide actually in those waters. Not because of sharks either, but because of currents. And I told him one night, yes, yeah, I said, I'm gonna probably have to go back. I just, I've got family. I mentioned, I got grandkids and this and that. He goes, Phil, you got family here. And I just thought, wow, he was right. They that night he had brought coconuts, picked from the trees at the jail. He brought coconuts for everybody on ice for the whole day, and he took out his machete and he popped, 3-4 hits, put it open, gave everybody an ice cold coconut. And it was amazing. After about 2.5 hours of playing pickleball, drenched in sweat. I got a picture of this, by the way, of me drinking from that coconut, my first real one, iced. It was, these are experiences that I savor, I favor, I remember fondly of my time living in Hawaii. It wasn't, obviously the scenery, everything else, but it was that night having coconut that Sia had brought everybody that played that night, had in his pickup truck, and we opened it with the machete. It was just a great time. Cool stuff. Enough. Go get that lost Bitcoin and do a video on it. Oh man, I wish I could. You know what? If I can get in, I'll do a video with that's a good idea. So you know what? The best ideas, the best things to talk about come from you guys. And that would be so pertinent now that Bitcoin's over 100,000. Now, to be honest, I only had a few $100. I think maybe 500 to 1,000. I think it was under $1,000. And I thought, I'm going to keep it in my own bank offline for safety. But yeah, I'll at least do that part, and I'll see. I wrote down the password somewhere. I actually looked for it at least once on an old file because it's written in notes somewhere, and it's there. If I can only find it. I think it's worth probably a few thousand today. That would be a great story. Okay, my parents moved to a remote coastal town in British Columbia in my 11th grade year. I was definitely a foreigner. Yeah, so you get it. Gives you some real life perspectives that are valuable. And the Philippines will do that. I'm telling you what, you'll hear this from people that have moved here or visited here from America. Wow, the orientation, there's just so much to it. I might have some visitors on here to talk about that. You'll find too that they're of a shy people. They would find this very what is it called? They would be very not embarrassed, just very shy, very like you'll see they'll cover their mouths a lot of time when they're laughing but they're it's a whole different culture, but it's not a disrespectful thing when they're covering their mouth or it's not whatever. It's just it is interesting. It's cool. It's because it's a very good culture that way. I visited all of them. Oh, my room in Kauai was $35. Not anymore, would it be? For reference, when I was in transition, I had to get a place of my own, and I rented a room only because this person knew someone I knew. Otherwise, she would have never done it. She rented out multiple rooms in her home. What was it? It was normally $1,200 or $1,400 a month for a bedroom with privileges to the kitchen and a bathroom, the house bathroom, not your own bathroom. And she gave it to me for $900 because she knew so-and-so and did it to me as a favor and trusted me and did not require the deposit. And I was teaching high school there for a semester. And that turned out to be a lifesaver. Now, some surprises came with that. I'll just give you my greatest memory. She had an outdoor shower. She had a shower, and she recommended, she says, use the outdoor. I know. So the first shower I took was inside. I'm not showering outside. But it was very private. And after I said, no, this bathtub thing is too much work. And no, she didn't want that. I had my first outdoor shower there. As a matter of fact, my dream is to have an outdoor shower in the future. Now, if it's in the Philippines, absolutely. I've even thought about putting one in Phoenix outside my mobile. Out back, because in the summertime it would work. Now, even in Hawaii, where the average temperature fluctuates 8 degrees from winter to summer, it was cool at night. This was a heated shower of all things. And I came to understand that. And when the ocean in the wintertime cooled to the upper 70s, I wouldn't get in it. It's too cold. Wow. But I paid, about $900 for the few months I was there per month. At my former job, we did environmental engineering for the city and county of Honolulu. Wow. My clients laughed when I asked them about me getting a job in Hawaii. Well, Laura, I think you could probably verify, especially like I said, now H1 is now if you're gonna, Oahu's gonna be how for the most opportunities for people in say the mainland. Oh my goodness. All right. Oh boy, what do we got here? One of my coworkers, an engineer, complained about having to work in Hawaii at a client's wastewater treatment plant for 2 weeks. He was a strange guy. Yeah, well, I'm sure he had his reasons. Hey, oh my goodness, reinventing me at 60. Oh my gosh. This person we did a live together on is awesome. And she's back, which is cool. You must be struggling with jet lag. I was yesterday. I've been up since I went to bed yesterday afternoon, I just feeling exhausted, not feeling good. I ate at a pancake house across the street here. That didn't go well, sandwich, and fell asleep at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon for whatever. Woke up about 10 in the night, then at 1 and 2. I've been up now since 2 or so this morning. It's almost 1 o'clock here in your future, Thursday. Hope you're having an amazing. Well, it's just getting started. The places I plan to go, the people I plan to see and do. It is going to be amazing because you come here to relax. You come here to slow your pace. Otherwise, you're going to stand out. Otherwise, you're going to have problems. I mean, even just the traffic, to go 8 miles, it took 45 minutes to get from the airport to here. Ordering, waited 20 minutes. And they tell you though, because they don't know if you know that it's going to be about 20. This morning, they had to brew another pot of coffee. So it's just going to be about 10 minutes. I said, you know what? I learned this in Hawaii. You don't rush. You slow down. That's mainland crap. And it doesn't fly when you're in other places. And you learn to chill. In Hawaii, they called it no hurry. No, I'll think of it, but no hurry. Life slows down to their pace. I'll never forget one of the first times I went to happy hour in a little community in Hawaii, Kilauea, on the north shore of Kauai. And we got there. Talk about a person that saw himself as respectful and polite. And I told them, I said, happy hour was ending. Oh, we had to get that drink discount. So I went to the bar. It was packed, and the bartender guy, I will say, he became a pretty good friend. I got to tell this story real quick. I go up and I stand there. It's packed and whatever. I said, "Hey," he ignores me. Finally, he looks over. I said, "Hey, just want to get a drink for right." He says, "Where you at?" I said, "Right here. I'll send a waitress." Forget. Okay. And then I'm thinking I'm being such a worrying about losing a couple bucks because we're not going to get the happy hour drinks. Well, the waitress comes over. Oh, don't worry, I'll get your happy hour, whatever. It's cool. We were with people who were regulars, live there on island. I think about that. Now, Casey, his name was Casey. If y'all ever, North Shore, I'll think of the name of the place in a second. The Bistro in Kilauea. Coolest place. Great food, great service. It got to the point that within a few months or that first year, I go there every afternoon, have a couple beers, and then go watch sunset. All of us local, not locals, but full-time residents. You leave your beer at the bar or whatever, and you walk down the road, or you jump in a car and you drive down about a mile, and you watch the sunset over Honolulu from Kilauea. And I got to tell these stories with pictures at least, because I have a bunch of them. And then you come back to the bar, your beer's still there. No one put anything in it. No one threw it away. They knew where we were. And it's so funny. I walked in one time, and now I'm Cheers. I'm what was his name at the bar on Cheers? Uh, Not Merv. Uh, where everyone knows your name. That was me because every afternoon that's where I would go to avoid the house where I didn't want to. Where was I going to go? So I started going to the bistro, and got to know everyone. It was a fun community of people there, and one day I walk in, two visitors vacationing on North Shore. We're sitting there waiting politely, who knows how long, for their drinks. They actually hadn't even ordered yet. I walk in. He sees me coming from the parking lot. He pours my beer. I walk in the door. He slides it down to me. I look over. I see these people look at like, what the hell? What the hell? Hey, buddy, you don't see us here? We've been here for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. This guy walks in. Who's he? Oh my God. I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed, but I thought about saying, hey, dude, I paid my dues. This guy totally put me in my place. I learned my lesson. Show some respect, and you'll get this treatment in the future and leave a decent tip. Yeah, that was a good day. But I did. I felt embarrassed because, yeah, I could see the look on their faces wasn't very complimentary. Okay. Oh, right. Okay. Ela, are you Jewish? And then, oh, do I have to show this? Okay, yeah. Well, looks are deceiving, Ela. I'm covered. I'm masked in a nice filter right now, so I look 20 years younger. But funny you should say that because my mom was adopted from a Jewish orphanage. There's a whole story behind that. Quite interesting. Um, but my dad was Irish, Catholic. We don't know for sure, but there's an interesting story about that. And I did a few years ago. I did what's that genealogy thing? It didn't say. It said I'm mostly Eastern and Central European, but it didn't have anything on there about my grandmother, who I know was my dad's mom, who was her. She married her husband was my dad's dad from Ireland. He was born on the boat over or shortly thereafter from Ireland, 18, I think he was born in 1898 or 9. He married my dad's mom, who was part French, Indian, or Indian and French, whatever it was. Had a very, you see, these are stories I didn't get. I didn't document. I just have memory of the basics. That's why one of the things I want to do on the channel is encourage people to document your family's history um, while you can, you know. But he married my mom, whose adopted dad I don't want to say it, but has a Jewish name, ends in Steen. Anyway. All right. Okay, here we go. Do you want to? Very fun, Ryan. Ryan, I don't recognize you from previous comments and stuff. I think I appreciate your participation and comments today and your questions. You were Norm. Yes, Norm from. Thank you, Nick. Sheesh. Yeah, Norm, it's time to say goodnight. It is. Have a great day. See you next time. Absolutely. Probably try to do a live sometime in the next week. Give you an update. Watch for the lives for updates. I'm going to try to put out some videos of experiences while I'm here, where I'm at, and make them kind of thematic. Like one of my plans is to eat like a Filipino for one day and put that together for y'all. Just fun things. Hey, if you have some of you who have skipped this hour and a half, which is fine, my request would be, maybe I'll put this in, I'll pin a comment. What kind of stories do you want to hear from me while I'm here? And then I'll decide whether to do them. Like if you say, I don't know what you would say. We'll figure it out as we go. But I appreciate y'all. Signing off from the future. The Boomer Phil from Thursday at almost 1 p.m. Thursday. So if you want to know what was happening, if you want to know what was happening tomorrow for you guys, here's a record of it. Phil, glad to see you set up in the Phils. Yes, hope you had a great trip. I did have a good trip. It was long. Yeah. Well, Brad, you have to go back now and catch it. Been on an hour and a half. I know that I don't know how in the future how to alert. I guess I'll use the community tab to let you know as I did. I did it 15, 20 minutes before I went live saying, hey guys, I'm going to do it. I just realized then that when I set this up through StreamYard, it wouldn't let me put a time in for yesterday, which is your time in my today. I'll probably do the same thing. I'll go live and let that loop play so everybody gets a notice. Hey, Phil's live, and I will try to make it to where it's, if I did it later in my day, it would be the middle of the night there. So I'll try to either do it in your early evening or even in your early morning, because that would be my early mid evening. We'll figure it out. And that's where we'll end. Yes, Matt, save the clock tower so I can come back to the future. See y'all.